what we know is the money's there.
Mm.
The marketplace, it's over $200 billion is transferred around the world right now for online learning, tipped to be $325 billion by 2025. The market's massive. So there's plenty of money for anyone watching this right now. There's billions, hundreds of billions of dollars in the market right now for your knowledge. So you will get to earn an uncapped potential, but you'll never get there if you don't compound.
For people that are watching, Ben, that still have preconceived ideas, and using your word, disorganized thoughts around the notion of money, what would you tell them? What sort of wisdom would you share with them to really pivot their thinking?
Confidence comes from competence. Until you learn new skills, you won't be able to pay your bills. It's really important to understand that it's a skill set. I was broke from the age of 14 till April 23, 2012. I was broke, proper broke. So I did not have any money to my name from 14 years of age till April 23, 2012. I had a negative net worth. Now, nowadays, I'm in a huge amount of debt, but that debt is allocated to a huge amount of property. So I love debt nowadays. But from 14 to 2012, I had a huge amount of debt, but no assets to show for it. So my mind was disorganized around money. What I realized that money is a skill. It's a skill set, but people aren't willing to learn the skill set. So anyone can succeed in any area of their life if they put in the right amount of effort, if they're willing to hold the right attitude, and if they're willing to acquire the correct skills. That's success. Success is effort, attitude, and skill, full stop. So it's important that we just stop lying to ourselves. Stop walking around saying money's not important. It is. It is important. Stop saying that. People just lie to themselves all day long.
They don't allow them. They don't allow themselves
at all.
To earn it, to attract it, to accumulate it.
It's really bizarre. Like it definitely comes down to the stories that we tell ourselves. But I think for everyone out there, I know what it feels like to have a really poor poverty-based mindset. I know what it feels like to not believe in yourself. I also know what it feels like to just get up in the morning not loving yourself. You know, you're aware of it. Your listeners probably aren't. But I went through 5.5 years of chronic mental illness, severe medicated chronic suicidal depression. I was hospitalized 4 times during that episode of my life. And so I know what it's like to have the worst of the worst, but I also appreciate that you can't do anything on your own. So the biggest mistake, I believe, when people are struggling with their finances is they make it an inner game. They go inside their brain and they try to work it out on their own, not realizing that, as Einstein pointed out, you can't solve the problem with the same thinking that made the problem. So here they are trying to solve their poverty problem with the thinking that caused the poverty problem. But unless you reach out to someone like you or a mentor or something, unless you reach out and ask for help and admit that you cannot do anything on your own, you're never going to get there. But some people have this even more awkward belief that if I ask for help, I didn't earn it, which is insane because I have not met one successful person who did it on their own.
Or their ego gets in the way. They don't want to admit that they might not have the knowledge required and the skills required.
For sure. So it's really weird, the amount of poverty on the planet and the amount of financial suffering, but it's also even weirder how simple it is to learn the skill if they gave themselves permission.
Speaking of poverty in certain areas of the world, you know, you've already said that you've untapped now unlocked now the global scale in terms of students. There's a guy that I'm sure you've come across as well. He lives in a country like Malaysia, and he's done phenomenally online. Peng Joon.
Oh yeah, I love that guy's ads. So good.
The point that I'm trying to make here is people can be anywhere in whatever economical circumstances that they might find themselves in, the harshest of poverty. But it's really their thinking, their skills, and the actions they take, like you said earlier, that can make a difference, right?
The pandemic leveled the playing field. There is for sure there is an argument that says where you were born means it's harder for you to succeed. I agree with that. You know, you can be born into a place that has no internet. It's going to be a lot more difficult for you. You can be born into a place that you can't access a computer. It's going to be more difficult. What I do know, though, is the pandemic's leveled the playing field because everybody who was able to afford fancy hotel rooms and big screens, and they can't do anything now anyway. So we now don't know if you just arrived yesterday, you've been around forever. The entry point is the same for everybody. Everyone's starting again now. I started again. April last year, I had to start completely again from scratch. So when you got people all over the world now realizing that Zoom and the internet has connected everybody, there's no advantage now. There's no advantage to me living here or living in whatever. I'm trying to think of some fictitious place, but whoopty, right? It doesn't matter anymore because everyone has virtually the same arena they can enter into, which is just incredibly inspiring because anyone can have a go now, which is just awesome.
And all you need really nowadays is basically a mobile phone, a smartphone is in, and you already got the internet connection basically built in. That's
it. Completely. And you're off and running. It's awesome.
So if we can now look, I love this conversation so far. I'm mindful of time, so we're going to actually wrap it up soon. Tell us a little bit more about this awesome event of yours that you are have already taken online, called Prosper from Your Passion. Who is it for? What does it do? And how will it help people to really amp it up?
Yeah, Prosper from Your Passion. It's a one-day event that we run that allows people to really discover what their passion is. And then we take them through the journey of how do they package, how do they compound, how do you create what we call your big five, which is really the path you're going to lay out for people to follow. And it's for anyone who wants to just share their knowledge, who wants to be able to actually do what they're passionate about and then enter into what I would deem to be a pandemic-proof industry and be able to have that freedom of time, freedom of income, of earning capacity and so on. And it's the people, if you've ever wanted to be a coach or a speaker or an online educator, an author, any of those kind of things, that's fundamentally for who the course is. But it's also for people that fall into one of three core categories. Some people that want clarity, what am I passionate about? How do I pick which of my passions I'm meant to work with? Or how do I get a passion that I used to love? And how do I rekindle it and allow myself to love it? So that's the first group. The second group of people that come along are people that are starting a business or already in business who are wanting to increase their number of clients. So what are the most effective strategies to bring people in to want to transact with my knowledge, ideally online? So the program is for people who want to share their knowledge online. But you can do it in any medium, but we now have added elements that allow it to do it online. So clients. And then the third one is just people who are curious. Like maybe they're in a job they don't like. Maybe they've lost their job recently. Maybe they're unfulfilled. And they just want to find out what else is out there and what else is available. And so we run a lot of free events. A lot of our, people who go to our website will find just a ridiculous amount of free courses and resources available. And this one really, all of our free events do something different. And this one's really for that ability to transition seamlessly into a business of sharing knowledge and avoiding all those costly pitfalls, because we know a lot of people make, you make one mistake setting your business up, it can cost you, $5,000. So the day really, it's very practical. They get a full, like a proper big thick manual. We work through it and it works. A lot of these free events you go to, they're just spammy pitch fests and you don't get any value out of it. Whereas our one-day events, we treat them as a full one-day program where you workshop from the start of the day to the end of the day, and you'll walk out with a good idea of your price points, a good setup of your package. You'll know exactly what your passion is you want to unpack. You'll know how to create a path, the price points. It's all included. So it's a great event.
It's true. It's very practical. And guys, I don't get any sort of kickbacks from this. I have done this program when it was still a live event in a venue somewhere. Loved it, which is also why I happily plug in Ben and Cham, and highly recommend Prosper from Your Passion for you guys to join as well. So look, Ben, what we want to do is we're going to add the link to that event below this video here, so that people can basically register. And as you said, it's a free event, right? And it's a one-day full-blown immersion survey experience with you.
Yeah. Well, basically, we did something special for your viewers. So if the viewers go to authentic.com.au/Bram, BRAM, there's a whole bunch of free stuff we've got available for them there. So just as a gift of being one of your community, one of your viewers, authentic.com.au/Bram. And then there they can find free tickets to the events. They can find all kinds of things.
Oh, I appreciate that, Ben. I didn't realize that you guys even added some goodies.
That's it. Yeah, we've got a whole bunch there waiting for them. Some downloads, some audio programs, a bunch of stuff.
Great stuff. Well, you are a difference maker, truly and authentically. And I appreciate your time today. And, always love what you guys do.
Thank you. And mate, this is the first interview I've ever done where I've drawn a flip chart. So this is the world's first. Nice.
Well, it's been a pleasure. Well, I'm going to let you go again. It was a big pleasure indeed, Ben. Appreciate your time again. And everybody sign up. You'll be in good hands with Ben. I can vouch for him and wish you all well. Thank you so much for joining.
Thanks so much for having me. And thanks to all the viewers as well. I really appreciate being able to spend some time and share a message with all of you out there. So thank you.